want to share something I'm incredibly passionate about. This September, I am leading an intimate first and second degree Reiki certification retreat on the Oregon coast. And while the ocean views, catered meals, sound baths, and beautiful home are all wonderful, that's actually not the reason I think this experience is so valuable. The real gift is what you will take home with you. After more than 30 years of practicing Reiki, I still use it every day. When someone I love is struggling, when one of my children needs support, when one of my dogs isn't feeling well, before an important conversation, meeting, presentation, event, while I'm sending a newsletter, when I need help with sleep, when I'm stressed, when I'm overwhelmed, when life simply feels like a lot, and in emergency situations. Reiki is one of the most practical tools that I've ever learned. It's like having a first aid kit that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's not just for physical well-being, it's for emotional, energetic, and spiritual support as well. And the beautiful thing about Reiki is that it doesn't drain you when you use it. It actually replenishes you simultaneously while you're giving it. So for caretakers, parents, coaches, therapists, healthcare providers, yoga teachers, massage therapists, hairstylists, leaders, anyone who spends their life supporting other people, Reiki is one of the most valuable skills you can learn. It's something you can use with your family, your pets, your friends, your clients, your community, in hospitals, during major life transitions, at the beginning of life, at the end of life, in moments of crisis, and in ordinary, everyday moments that simply need more care. You will learn both hands-on and distance Reiki, professional protocols, energetic boundaries, safety practices, and everything you need to confidently integrate Reiki into your life and, if you choose, your work as well. Most certifications teach you how to perform Reiki, but what we teach you is how to live with Reiki. Because once you have it, it's yours for the rest of your life. If that speaks to you, I would love to have you join us. You can find all the details in the show notes. This is a women's retreat. Reach out if you have questions. Looking forward to talking with you soon.
When we start to devote to being in each other's care, it doesn't matter whether it's a stranger, that boss at work you're so pissed off with, or the business partner, anyone we're in relationship with, if we can see the divinity in them and understand that our work is, how can I bring safety to this situation, especially when there's reactivity. Yep, reactivity. I'm not just going to be nice guy, nice girl here. That's not safety. That's actually dangerous.
Yeah, you have to have a boundary.
Yeah, we got to be what I call strong back, soft front. Got to be in our backbone or spine, but open heart and curious. How can I respond to this situation in a way where I don't have to be reactive?
Hey friend, before we begin, I want to invite you to listen to this conversation through the lens of connection. Mike and I spent a lot of time exploring what happens when we don't feel safe, how that shapes our relationships, our nervous systems, our sense of belonging, and even the way we experience ourselves. What I love about this conversation is that it is not theoretical. Mike shares openly from his own life, from adoption and heartbreak to healing and transformation, and offers a powerful perspective on why so many of us can look successful on the outside while feeling disconnected on the inside. As you listen, I invite you to notice where the conversation reflects something back to you. Where are you longing for more connection? Where might your nervous system still be protecting you? What would become possible if you felt a little safer being fully yourself? Whether you are navigating challenges in your relationships, healing old wounds, or simply wanting to feel more connected to your life and your authentic self, I think you'll find something meaningful here. Give yourself a breath and let's begin. Welcome to The Authentic Creative, where we expand our capacity to feel good, one deep breath, one bold choice, and maybe a little bit of magic at a time. I'm Siri Baruch Thornton, healer, creative, and lifelong explorer of all things energy, self-expression, and joy. With over 26 years of experience in Reiki, Akashic Records, and transformational breathwork, I've learned that feeling good is not a luxury, it's a practice. And sometimes it's a little messy. This podcast is here to help you trust your intuition, break the rules, the ones that need breaking, and live more fully in your gifts. So give yourself a deep breath, get cozy, and let's dive in.
I want to share with you guys a little bit about who our amazing guest is today. I'm going to be in conversation here in a minute with Mike Elliott. He's a relationship coach, breathwork facilitator, and guide for high-performing men who are longing for deeper connection, emotional presence, and more meaningful relationships. Mike's work was deeply shaped by his own early life experiences. He shares openly about being separated from his biological mother at birth and being adopted twice before the age of 14 months, experiences that later revealed deep patterns around abandonment, performance, and the fear of rejection. After years of overachieving and building external success, the collapse of his marriage became a major catalyst that led him into deeper healing work around attachment, nervous system regulation, somatics, intimacy, and emotional embodiment. I want to pause before I finish your bio. Mike, does that all feel real and true? Is there anything you want to correct?
Yeah, it's all so true.
Okay, great. So today, Mike works with men who may look successful on the outside, but internally feel disconnected, emotionally isolated, or unable to fully access intimacy and presence in their lives and relationships. His work blends somatic healing, breathwork, attachment theory, gene keys, relational coaching, and nervous system work to help men move from performance into deeper authenticity and connection. He is the creator of Relational Authority, a private coaching container designed to help men embody emotional maturity, grounded leadership, and relational safety in their partnerships, families, and lives. He also co-hosts the podcast called Together alongside his partner Courtney Wren, where they explore conscious relationship, rupture and repair, parenting, intimacy, and relational growth. So we'll put in the show notes, Mike is on Instagram and his website, it's mikeelliott.com. All that will be there for you guys. I want to welcome you, Mike. Thank you so much for being here today. This is really exciting because as the listeners can hear from your bio that I just read, you're so in alignment with all of the things that we do and talk about on this podcast. So thank you so much. This is really exciting. I'm excited to get that men's embodied perspective and kind of soak up some of the learnings and teachings that you work with and just kind of see like where things are at in terms of what I know and where you are and like kind of meet somewhere in the middle there. And I wonder where things overlap and all of that for men and women and the work you do with men. I'm curious, first of all, if it's okay to ask you, I like to kind of understand people from their beginnings. Let me just ask you if it's okay. Do you know where you were born? Where did you grow up? I know there was some tumultuous beginnings.
Yeah, I'm just so excited for our conversation. Thank you for the intro and quick nuance on that one. We rebranded, so it's not Together. It's called The Sacred We now. So if anyone wants to check that out, it's The Sacred We. And
Great.
I was born in New Westminster, British Columbia, Canada.
Oh,
So by Vancouver.
yeah.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
born in a hospital there by my mother, Diane was her name. And she had a tough go. She was a drug addict, harsh drugs, crack, heroin, and raped and abused from the age of 14. And so that was my doorway into a body, was from that woman who had been really poorly treated by life and by men. And I'm sharing that because that is my deepest wound, is experiencing a mother who didn't feel safe in the world
Hmm.
and how that impacted my lived experience.
Yeah.
Not getting to grow up with a mother is one of the ultimate severances, is created so much panic and terror inside of my experience as a man. And this is what I speak to with so many people. Our deepest wound is our greatest medicine to the world. because it means we have to face it, build a healthy relationship with it, crawl through the mess of what it creates in patterns and beliefs and emotions. And once we do, now we have wisdom, lived experience to then share with other people who are in the struggle. And
Yeah.
so,
And I want to pause because you say we have to face it. You are choosing and continue to choose to face it, and many people don't. And so that's really brave. And people that listen to this podcast and myself, we choose to face because we care about evolving. And not everyone cares about evolving. Some people stay in victimhood. So
and
yeah.
to add a layer to it is like some people don't care to evolve, but some people don't even know that's what we're here for.
Ah,
Right. And that's important to name. There's a lot of people that aren't in proximity to conversations that are even mirroring back the experience they're having
mm-hmm,
to show them where they're at and that there's more.
mm,
They don't even know because they're still impacted when they were a victim. That's
mm-hmm,
so important to name because it's so easy. I'd say as a society, there's a place where it's easy to turn away from the people that struggle, but we don't even know their world of struggle if we haven't gone into the center of that place. When I think of me in the center of my struggle, I had no freaking idea that I
mm,
was numb in my nervous system, that I had collapse, I was dissociated, that I had so much trauma that I was using all these soothing strategies to make the distress that I didn't even know I had feel better. And so that's important to name because some people aren't actually choosing to live in victimhood. They were a victim and they haven't had that earth angel come in front of them and say, "Hey, oh my God, let me love you so you can wake up to the truth. You have choice here. No longer are you a little kid stuck in that circumstance. Let's get you help."
mm. It's interesting what you're sharing because I love the passion you're sharing it with and how much you clearly have a heart of service and care about others and care about their growth and getting them out,
Yeah.
helping them through love, which is the strongest force in power. I also recently became aware of, I think just yesterday, again, of the word functional freeze. And I've been thinking about that term. And I was thinking when you just shared, is that what you were in? Is that what your clients are in when they find you?
Totally. When somebody shows up on a discovery call, first of all, I celebrate them like, hallelujah, the healthy part of you that decided to reach again, even though every time you reached in vulnerable places, it was rejected, it was abused, it was minimized. You turned that reach back on and you're willing to explore a conversation to get help. Yes, to answer your question, I was collapsed. I was in functional freeze, and I was just moving from a place of adrenaline. I was functioning in a place of performance because friction feels good. If we just keep moving and doing and don't slow down to rest in and actually notice, am I in my body? Am I
Mm,
feeling? When's the last time I cried? Do
mm,
I have five closest friends that I can be my full expression of self? Where I can be the messy human part of myself and they can welcome me in my power? Oh, I don't. That's a problem. If that awareness isn't alive, then it's just living a reality that is subdued because at some point society or some experiences subdued it. Like you don't get to be here with that level of sensitivity. And so, yes, almost every man that has ever shown up to me to do the work is living from their head. Tony Robbins talks about this. If you're in your head, you're dead. If we don't learn how to drop down into our heart, the longest journey any of us will ever take is from our head to our heart. Because if we actually drop down into it, that means having to feel big waves of human experience, big emotions.
mhm,
That means feeling grief, sadness, anger, rage, shame. Have to feel to heal. That means going into my lived experience, take responsibility for it and stop running from it.
mhm.
That's frightening. That's the gift of functional freeze. Thank you, functional freeze, because at some point when you were little,
Mhm.
often something was too overwhelming.
Mhm.
Something was scary, so your body froze that part of the experience and it's still there. But now you're still moving and everything looks fine, but there's a part of you frozen.
Yeah, it's also making me think about a client that I have and experience that I had after a breakup. And one of the clients I have is going through a divorce. And in both of those scenarios, the scenario where I had a big breakup, where I just filled my calendar in order to survive the intensity of the suffering of the heartbreak. And for my client more recently, going through her divorce, during our breathwork sessions, it was so challenging for her to breathe deeper, to cry. She had to be in freeze because it was so much chaos of the world kind of cracking underneath her, just too much. And so I think what you're talking about is, well, sometimes those things are needed for a period of time.
Always needed, or else they wouldn't be there. Now, if we live in that state that the nervous system is doing, like I think it's important to name, the nervous system is almost like its own entity. We are in a body. This body has a nervous system and it has its own way of surviving no matter what we think. So if somebody goes to punch us in the face, hopefully our body responds of moving
Yeah.
out of the way, a flight response.
Mm.
Whoa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the flight response of the body. Thank you, body. You just dodged the punch.
Mm.
Or if there's a situation where somebody falls in an avalanche and a part of their body collapses, we want to thank collapse because it's actually going to make the body go a little bit limber, like a loose
Mm.
noodle, and it's going to be less tension to push against the parts that are trying to brace that will lead to broken bones and arms. So
Mm.
thank you, collapse. Now, the tricky thing is, as humans, is we have consciousness. Animals don't have the level of consciousness we have. And so I want to use an example because what we're actually talking about is trauma. Trauma is something that's too much, too fast, too intense. If it doesn't get integrated, that energy is too much, too fast, too intense, gets stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Animals don't do this. If a deer gets clipped by a car on the highway, but it survives, what's fascinating is if you follow it with a video camera and watch what happens, it goes into the ditch and it starts kicking and bucking and frothing at the mouth and making weird sounds. And then all of that
Yeah. It's like
cortis,
shakes it out.
yeah, shakes it out. And then all that distress moves out of the body. The nervous system discharges it. Now, what's tricky
Mm-hmm.
as humans, we've been shamed and judged and criticized for crying, for shaking. Like, why is your lip quivering? Are you a pussy? This just society has been
Mm-hmm.
so mean that the brilliance of the intellect has said, freeze. Don't show any emotion ever again. You just got kicked out of the tribe.
Yep.
And then now we live in that state. And until we recognize, oh no, that experience deeply impacted me, I'm stuck. I'm frozen. I'm not expressing my true emotion here. My face is saying I'm happy, but I'm not actually happy. I'm terrified.
Mm.
This is fawning. If we're living in that experience of the body, but we don't even know it, we can't integrate it.
Yeah.
It's super important. The deer in the side of the highway integrated the experience, the energy let go.
Yeah.
As humans, we're walking around, most of us, a lot of us, especially if you're listening to this podcast, my sense is some part of you is looking for liberation, more calm, more relaxation, more peace. We then have to understand the nature of trauma and treat it with respect. And
Yeah.
at
Or your partner is, because a lot of our audience is women and you're mainly working with men, yes. So we can
both,
have
yeah.
them share this episode. There's so many things that come to mind when you're speaking. One is about the deer and the fact that the deer doesn't make meaning out of anything, right? It's just like that happened and now this is happening. There's only present time.
Yeah. It's got
And
to survive. It doesn't have time to feel sorry for itself. It's going to get hunted by a cougar. It's got to get rid of this energy quickly so it can get back into using the brilliance of fear, which is hyper focus and attunement to the environment so it knows how to move through it. Whereas humans, fear, the thing that we're the most afraid of is fear. But if we don't
yeah.
embrace the healthy expression of fear and know that it's like, whoa, my body wants me to pay attention to something.
Mm.
Okay, how does it want me to move? Oh, I'm like, there's something to pay attention to. But if we care too much about what other people think, now fear's starting to rule our life. And now the nervous system's working against us. Now it's like we're freezing and collapsing in moments we actually need to stick up for ourselves. Our partner isn't treating us kindly. Hey, whoa, stop. I love you and I'm here. I welcome your feelings as a practical example. And I'm not okay with you talking to me that way.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Power. We
Yeah.
can't do that if we're fawning. If we're like, oh no, but if I speak up, then I'll get more attacked, or they're gonna, and then, oh no, now our power is collapsing, and now we're in the, I'm just gonna, like, it's fine, whatever. No, it's not fine. You're shutting down your life energy. No, no, no. And so this is what I'd say were my lens, anyways. My belief is this is what we're trying to make sense of as humanity so we can relate well. For us
Yeah.
to be fully relational and have healthy marriages and friendships, we actually have to understand our body is going to try to keep us safe. It is keeping the score from all the things that haven't integrated from our past. And our adult responsibility is get to know it so that we can practice being our full selves in the experience of relating, because then that's safe. If
Yeah.
you are upset with me, I want you to let me know you're upset so that we can be relational, so I
Yes.
can get to know your owner's manual of what helps you feel safe.
Yeah. And I want to go back to the part about when you're younger as a boy
Yeah.
or as a child, but specifically, I'm thinking about my youngest son. I want to say maybe a couple years ago, I remember him literally saying, I made a promise to myself that I will never cry at school again.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, just, yeah, that reaction you just had
Oh,
just broke my heart. Not so much, I mean, yes, broke my heart for him, but also for our society because this is the norm. And oh, this is what men must go through. And of course, he feels that way because this is the environment with boys. And the other, well, I don't want to reveal too much. Maybe that's even embarrassing for him, what I already shared. But I will just say we're all sensitive beings. I believe, and I think you probably do too, but I'll ask you this is like, I think we're all sensitive beings. It's just how much are we masking and covering and adapting and shifting and trying to belong so that we're not ostracized and shamed and all of that. I think some people may be perhaps more sensitive than others. What do you think about that?
yeah, absolutely. Every human is unique in the way that they're designed. And I'd say absolutely. Some people have more sensitivity than others.
Mm-hmm.
And if the sensitivity of a human heart, because I am in agreement with you there, this comes from all my mentors of study and research, not just my ideas. If you have a human heart that's pumping, guess what? You have a sensitive heart.
Mm-hmm.
We are all fragile. We are all sensitive. Now, some of us may not look that way, but it could be because we're functioning with freeze. We're in functional freeze. We're collapsed. We're numb and just going through the motions. Every single one of us, I believe, has the gift of sensitivity to be sensitive to life itself, the environment. If I am sensitive to my environment, I will watch your body expressions and I will be hyper attuned to get to know what brings you into experience of safety, what helps you feel seen, heard, and understood. Three ingredients that allows you to integrate your lived experience. We all need that. All of us need to be seen, heard, and understood.
Mm-hmm.
And if we aren't, we're going to push our power in forceful ways to be seen and heard. But it might be in ways that's actually pushing you farther away from being accepted by the tribe because it's not relational if it's from wounding.
Mm-hmm.
But if we actually start to take responsibility, we're all sensitive, then we will drop in and learn how to be in right relationship with the sensitivity. Once we build a healthy relationship to the sensitivity, we now get to be sensitive to the environment. When we're sensitive to the environment, life is now in service to our experience. Now we're able to respond and relate with people, even though there's difference and complexities and chaos. And we will know how to move in right relationship in a way that is leading to more respect, more care, more safety. Intimacy, we need to understand intimacy is a lot of what humans want. It's not just some feeling. This is important. I want to give everyone listening a definition of intimacy. Relating is an intimate experience. If I know you have a sensitive heart and I have a sensitive heart, we're in an intimate experience. If intimacy is scary, well, I'm going to have all these coping strategies to avoid the sensitivity of it.
Yeah.
But if we want to do relationship well, we have to understand what intimacy is because we all want it. Intimacy is creating the experience of safety for both people. We're in the game of safety. I need to get to know if this is in my enlightened self-interest. If I want us to have a great relationship, I'm going to want to know your owner's manual. You're going to want to know my owner's manual. You're going to want to know where are all the tripwires and the landmines that trigger a reaction or a place that's not so great to be in relationship with, not to caretake it, but to be in care of it.
Think about in intimate relationship, partnership, not in work. Where are we in this
Yeah.
example?
My dream is that this becomes the norm in just being a human being.
Yeah.
Is learning the ingredients of intimacy, because now we're going from a lens of how do I become the person that creates safety everywhere I go? If we create safety, and that's the MO, everywhere we go, we're going to learn how to bring our power, but also be attuned to how is it being received. Masculine energy is the energy of becoming. That's the part that feels good to penetrate life with. Feminine energy is receivership. It's being, it's surrender. If we don't bring polarity to these two parts of our experience, no matter what your gender, our penetration in life will be misattuned to how it's being received. If we do that, we're creating experiences like your son had of, I'm never going to be in this experience again. I will never cry again. Ugh. Power that was used in whatever environment he was in, lack of sensitivity, put down and bullied sensitivity that has now created a weak link because that person now doesn't want to be a full expression of life. Devastating. So yes, I'm talking about intimacy and intimate partnership, but what I'm inviting is culturally, let's get out of this hyper individualistic culture that rewards being independent and only independent and giving accolades and rewards if I did this all myself. No, you didn't. No one did anything themselves. You read books, you were inspired by other people's success, you've received wisdom, you've listened to music that softened your nervous system. We are always being supported, but there is an immature version and expression of humanity that is so stoked on, I did this myself. That is wounding, my friend. I'm sorry to say it. What's under all that? Let's get to know that so you stop needing to prove your power. And I'm saying this because I was that guy.
Yeah.
That's not kind. It's not safe for other people. It's not going to be the thing that sets us free. So I'm inviting, we do this just as a culture. We start to be in curiosity of what are your sensitivities? That's
Yeah.
important to me.
And what I'm hearing is that you're talking about listening, you're talking about paying attention,
Mhm.
you're talking about noticing, you're talking about being present in your body and being able to respond instead of just react. And
Yeah.
and I hear you saying that we're in a web of life. We're interconnected. We want interdependence. We don't want to be hyper this way or hyper that way. We want to find this flexible nervous system regulation is this flexibility to feel all of our feelings and to be okay and safe within feeling all of those feelings, whether it's fear or shame or grief or joy. And as you and I know, joy can be one of the most scariest emotions to feel.
Yeah. Yeah, big waves of joy can be like this is important. One of my mentors, Gay Hendricks, wrote the book The Big Leap.
Yeah.
I worked with a personally beautiful human being, and I love that he described this piece of the human experience. When we hit big joy, most of us will automatically come in and sabotage it and drop us back down to a lower experience, thinking that joy is scary because we're afraid to lose it. If we have it, it's like, I don't know about you, but for me, there's places where I have a personal preference of, can this be my new norm? Can I just live in this perpetual state of joy? Because I'm not super stoked on shame. I'm not super stoked on fear. I don't really love it. My relationship with them, we're still working on it. And the more I fight it, the bigger it gets. Let's just
Yeah.
live in joy. Now we're talking about spiritual bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is, you don't need to look at that. Don't listen to the people therapists. Like they're just quacks. Like just push your past behind you. Focus on the future. Guess what? You're talking about dissociation. You're going to feed this a dissociated experience, which isn't honoring life. We have to build a healthy relationship with the full range. And when we do, we can expand our ability to titrate in higher states of joy for longer periods of time. If
Talk
we
to me
get,
about the word titrating because
yes,
I think that's so interesting because some people only relate to that word in one sense. And I'm curious, how do you help your clients with that, the titration part for joy or whatever the emotion is?
yeah. Titration is super important because it's a relational experience. It's being in relationship with the full complexity of being human. So practically, when I'm working with a client, I'll use one of the clients I'm working with. He's got a big flight response and a fight response stuck that loops in his nervous system. And so it's really important for me to attune to that part of his experience because if I come in too close too quickly with love and vulnerability, it hits the tripwire of the flight and the fight and he'll bolt.
Mm-hmm.
So to help him heal and to help him rewrite his human experience, and I have to learn how to find his edge, stay pro connection, but also mirror back like, whoa, I can see you're scared. Makes so much sense. Hey, and what I'll do is I'll say, can we just slow down for a second? And while he's in a flight response, this is titration. While his brain is convincing him of all the exit doors, I just say, can you look at me right now? Can you just look at me? Can you see that I'm here? Yeah, can we just breathe together? Yeah, what's that like? Oh, yeah, I'm seeing some sadness. That gets to be here. Just let this part of you notice I'm here. Listen to the reverberations of my voice. Yeah, you feel that? Okay, cool. Now, what do you notice? Oh, I feel a bit of sadness, but I feel relaxed and calm. Yeah, great. Let's just be there for a bit. And then they'll guide them into the new experience because neurons that fire together wire together. If the flight response keeps doing its thing, it's going to keep recreating an experience of disconnection, not having someone. But if we have someone come in and interrupt the pattern to give us the experience of titrating into the desired experience, which is connection,
Mm-hmm.
if that part can feel where someone's there present moment, now we're in the experience of titrating. The flight gets to still be there and it gets to experience connection. Both of them are welcome. I'm not in there trying to fix the flight. I'm getting to know is how does it find its place so it doesn't have to flight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
When we do that, we're now titrating into a new reality. That's not from a meditation. That's not visualizing your future self. That's all helpful. I love all those things. But ultimately, we're actually needing to titrate into the new reality we're wanting to experience, which from my lens is almost always relational.
Yeah. So it's like one half baby step at a time that allows you to experience all of what you're experiencing and still stay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Prime example. I've been adopted twice in the first year of my life. You know how much mess I have had to experience? How many patterns I've lived out because of that terror as a little baby losing his mom? I had no idea. Most of my life, I had no idea the level of impact. I just took on the belief of something is really wrong with me.
Right. Of course, most people that were adopted probably made it mean that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because a biological need, we are born 100% dependent. And I want to name this because we live in a culture that's scared of codependency. Totally. But codependency is a part of healthy biological nature. We are codependent in the younger phases. That's when we're meant to be codependent. We start as full dependent. You can't even eat food without your mom picking you up and bringing her to her breast. Talk about vulnerable. Talk
Mhm.
about a sensitive experience. If mom isn't held very well, it's terrifying. So for me, born into a baby little body, I'm now in a body. It's like this is terrifying. I'm breathing for the first time, all these firsts, and my mom's gone. Holy shit. Hell for a baby. If we just look at a baby, he's just lost his mom. He needs his mom to survive. His nervous system, just imagine what the little Mike's baby nervous system is going to have to do to deal with that situation.
And
Co-
also, what you had to do to rewire that is
yeah,
incredible. Share
which is,
something about the
yeah,
rewiring of that.
totally.
What was the most impactful? I'm sure it was like 1,000 things that helped you to get to where you are now, but what was one of the most impactful? Was it breath work?
First of all, I want to describe the pain of it because the quick answer for is relationship.
Mm,
Relationship with the ingredient of safety where someone had done their work that could attune to my vulnerable experience and actually be with me so my body could turn on and access the healthy healer that we all have inside of us. Because I want to name, yes, you all have a healthy healer. You have everything inside of you. And you're in a body that is interdependent, that is reliant on relationship and how well that's going. If you don't get safe ingredients from another person, you're fucked. Pardon my French. You will do things that don't make sense. The behaviors are immature. We do need other people. We
mhm.
form our nervous system and our belief system based
Or
off of mirrors
tribal.
and reflections.
Yeah.
If an environment is treating us kindly, and every time we cry out or we have a thing and it's met, we now adopt the belief of it's so healthy for me to have needs.
Right.
It's so healthy for me. When I have a need, life comes in and meets my need. And then guess what? Now we have a human that goes out into the world. They know their God-given gifts. They've evolved into their power because all the mirrors and reflections said, you're amazing, you're great. They didn't let them misuse their power. They had boundaries. And now they go out into the world and be like, God, I know who I am. I'm going to bring this to life. And when I bring this to life, I'm going to get paid doing it. All my needs will be met. But to go back to your inquiry, like for me, the impact of not having those ingredients and the mirrors and reflections pushing the pain deeper led to having a sawed-off shotgun held to my chest and me having a moment of do it. I hope you pull the trigger
Mm.
because I wanted to die. I was so numb, disconnected to my own experience that I wanted that guy to kill me. Drug dealer in a crack den. That was my darkest kind of phase of life. But then I
Wait,
kept
so
getting
you
hurt.
actually were having this literally the gun to your chest, or you just felt that way?
Oh no, there was a sawed-off
Oh,
shotgun held to my
literally.
chest.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh shit.
I was kicked out of my house on the day of grad and I went dark. I was kicked out of my house and I want everyone to pay attention to this, the pattern. I was separated from my mother day one. I didn't choose for that experience. That's what happened. Day of grad, now off to be an adult. I was kicked out of my house. Same pattern. I enveloped and created experiences that perpetuated the same pattern that life is inviting me to grow up in. My dad was scared of me and kicked me out of the house. I had to figure out how to be an adult on my own. So I became, first of all, I used my pain and my anger. And a mantra that I used to live by is I want women to want me and men to fear me because I
Mm.
was so insecure and scared inside. little baby trying to keep himself safe. And so I got big. I worked out every day for hours and I used my power in unhealthy ways to get respect. It's not healthy respect. People were scared of me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked for a drug dealer. I became a debt collector. And
Wow.
I would go collect debts for big time drug dealers. And then I became a drug dealer because they befriended me and they saw, whoa, this dude's powerful. Like, here, man, let me teach you how to do the drug game. Things got murky and messy as they do in the drug world. And a drug dealer thought that I slept with his girlfriend. That was the rumor going around. I didn't. So I went to go face the music and he was all cracked out and he held a sawed off shotgun to my chest, jacking rounds out of it, screaming in my face.
Whew.
And I knew I didn't. So I stood in my truth and I looked at him in the eyes and I said, do it. I didn't sleep with her. Do it. And then he dropped the gun and then I became his best friend.
Whoa.
And then we both smoked crack out of a bong, not my highlight of my life, and had a ringer. And then that depth of darkness.
Mm-hmm.
A few days later, my biological grandma came into my experience. And then I just heard these inner whispers of, Mike, this isn't you.
Mm-hmm.
And when I felt that love recirculate from within me, I knew I had to learn something new and different. I knew I had to just let go of whatever I'm doing to hide. And I started to move towards love. I started to move towards people that could see me for who I was. It didn't all happen right away. It took many years to actually get to my next reckoning, which was a little softer. I got married. I followed the American dream. I had the house, paid off truck in the driveway, jet boat. I got the success and the status, but I didn't know how to fully relate like an adult. My partner left, 7 years of marriage, brought down to my knees. Here I am again. Notice the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
The person I wanted the love from the most left. I'm now in my early 30s. I'm just re-experiencing my trauma. Brought
Mm-hmm.
me to my knees. I stopped the coping. Something, I don't know, grace of God got me aware enough to look down at my experience and say, Mike, you're using porn to self-soothe, Netflix specials, you're listening to books incessantly, you're going to the next course, the next program, listening to podcasts, and I was just doing everything I could to get enough success, money, and status, even though I had multiple six figures and stocks and it's like nothing, it was insatiable. I had this
Yeah.
monster inside of me that was never good enough.
Yeah.
And then my partner felt that and she left. And so I put
Mm-hmm.
all those coping strategies away. I vowed never, I will never look at porn again. I won't use drugs. I quit smoking pot. I got rid of my TVs, got rid of my theater room, sold my house, bachelor student apartment just to get in relationship to myself. And when I started to just sit with myself, thoughts were dark.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like the thoughts when I was just in relationship with myself without all those things that were keeping me comfortable because now I was having really dark thoughts.
Yeah,
Now I was
and you
having,
have to like relearn
oh,
what is worthiness? Like,
yeah,
what does that even mean in my body?
I had no idea. And so I'm laying in my bed, dark thoughts, images, flashes of me going into my truck, into my driveway and putting a hose in the window. You know how embarrassing that is? I care so much of how I show up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind is making up images and thoughts saying, Mikey, this is how you should kill yourself. This is the only thing that'll set you free.
Yeah. And this is so common too.
So common and not talked about. This is
Yeah.
why I talk about it because most people, when I say this, they're like, oh my God, you too? I'm like, dude, I get
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And until this is brought to connection where it's safe enough to bring it, it will keep, it'll get darker
Festering.
and
Yeah.
darker and darker. And people do check out, especially now. You know how many
Mm-hmm.
message I get of men in our community that kill themselves and they have a family? It's devastating, which is why I'm so here to talk about the places we're not talking about
Mm-hmm.
enough.
Yeah.
Because if we don't talk about it, if we don't bring the darkness into the light, we keep perpetuating the trauma.
Yeah.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
And I heard this on a podcast that I was on yesterday and I love it. So I'm going to use it again. People who do the work heal people.
Mm. Yeah.
Doing the work means I'm going to face the darkness that lives inside of me.
I was just going to
I
ask you, what do you mean by doing the work? Yeah.
Doing the
Great.
work is facing, understanding we all have darkness, we all have shadow. Shadow can just be looked at this challenge. Every single human has unique challenges. My belief is every soul is here to enlightened into some real deep learning about a certain type of energy. Mine is weakness and struggle and control. Those are some of the shadows. But then there's gifts to all of them.
Hmm.
Valor,
This is like
honor.
Gene Key's work that you're talking about?
Yeah, now I'm
Yeah.
talking Gene Keys. Yeah.
Hmm.
Tenderness, the shadow of weakness, the gift of it is equality. The acidic frequency, which is the enlightened state that we all want to feel and experience, is tenderness. And so that means I need to get to know the relationship to weakness. I can't run from it. I can't hide from it. We know what my life looks like when I try to run and hide from it, but that's never going away from my experience because there is weakness that lives in me. But when I turn towards it and I stop running from it, I say, okay, welcome, weakness. Yeah, great. There's dark energy that wants me to kill myself. Thank God life is here. Thank God for Oprah talking about her dark night of the soul because it inspired me because I was so invested in all the learning from the people. And then I remember this thought while I was on my bed considering ending it.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, I had a lighter moment where I was like, I remember Oprah talking about her dark night of the soul. And she said she dropped down on her knees and she said, God help me.
Hmm.
Guess what I did? Dropped
Yeah.
down on my knees. I went next to my bed and I threw my hands in the air and I said, God, help me. I have no idea what I'm doing. You know what came on the radio? Shawn Mendes' song, It's Not in My Blood. This is a song where he talks about the darkness and this contemplation of suicide. And the essence of this song says, it's not in my blood. I won't do this. I was not a spiritual dude. This just blew me into a full subscriber. I drank the Kool-Aid of like, holy shit, spirituality is a thing. Life just spoke to my soul in the darkest moment of my life and said, I'm here with you. And this is what's important. Shawn Mendes' song, it's amazing. That dude, I hope one day I get to meet him and thank him because he saved my life. His experience, his vulnerability and willingness to share it with the world and put it into music met me in my unique moment, another human being. His relationship to me in that moment, his bravery to share that place touched me. And I felt it because it was safe. I felt seen.
Yeah.
Then 2 days later, because I surrendered and I said, I need help. This is where life starts to get interesting is when we accept our weaknesses and ask for help, life does show evidence
Mm.
it wants to support life. 2 days
Mm.
later, buddy says, Mike, I'm going to send you a link to this guy. He's a soul coach. It's an investment. It's a lot. It's thousands.
Were you
Do
like,
it.
what's a soul coach?
Total. Well, at that point, I was like considering ending my life. I just had a spiritual experience where Shawn Mendes just blew me into tears and me grieving how not alone I was now that I was like, I'm all in. Soul coach? Yeah, I can feel my soul in here. There's something that wants to be saved.
Mm.
Help. I was like, okay. And so he sent me the link and he said, do it, dude. It's a big investment. You're going to probably want to wiggle out of it. And I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I want to wiggle out of it. I don't have that money. He's like, dude, how you're doing it? Not working. Thank God. This is true brotherhood. And I want to name that. Thanks to Kevin. It's just like, oh, such a brother to me. He said, dude, how you're doing it sucks. Do
Mm.
it. Normally I'd trust your process, but work with him. You need it. And I
Mm.
did. And then something started to happen, just like it did from that song coming on. I started to experience a different kind of relationship with men. I started to be held with safety. Somebody who was also, I didn't know this for actually the first 2 years of us working together because
Mhm.
he was very private. He
Mhm.
was adopted.
Whoa, that's interesting. That
Can't even make
you were
up.
led to him.
Can't even make this up. Life provided somebody, what's the good old saying? When the student's ready, the teacher appears. Somebody who had walked through the pain of being adopted, had devoted their whole life to doing their version of work, came in at the most ripe moment to help me walk through my journey and the impact of being adopted. That's the spiritual stuff that is hard to even encapsulate
Yeah,
in words.
mystical. Yeah.
And it helped me. So to answer your question in a really long-winded way, all packed in story is breathwork, yes. Meditation, yes. Reconnecting to nature, yes. Me doing self-love practices with a mirror, yes. Me going through Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life, following all the mantras, yes.
Mm.
Stickies on my mirror, Mike, you're amazing. Yes, all of it. But the thing that was the deepest is me starting to recognize I'm in relationship with life, and it's my job to reparent this little baby that's terrified
Mm, mm,
and get to know what he needs to experience that he needed back then, and me be brave enough to go be held in the tenderness and seen in all the places that I'm trying to resolve. When I took on that new lens, I now knew what coach to hire, who to work with, what books to read, what practices to do, because I could be sensitive to my own lived experience that I'm going to need someone soft and gentle. I'm going to need someone who knows trauma.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to need someone who knows the dark part of reality and drug. Like, I just need to know someone who can hold that experience. And then when I chose people like that, the healthy healer in me turned on. I remember I used to say to him, we'd finish a session and it's like we didn't even have any structure. It was just he would hold space, things would happen. I'd feel feelings, I'd feel seen, I'd have a big cry, then I'd feel big love and big joy. And then I'm like, what's happening? Well, he would smirk and laugh. And I'm like, what are you doing over there? And he would just smirk. But you know what I get now? He was being fully alive in his own experience so he could be present with mine.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
presence between two people coming together allowed the healing to happen.
Yeah. No two people can experience each other without both being changed. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I call that
Wow.
relational reciprocity. When we are in an agreement of, I care about your safety, this comes from one of my mentors, Stan Tack, and being in each other's care. When we start to devote to being in each other's care, it doesn't matter whether it's a stranger, that boss at work you're so pissed off with, or the business partner, anyone we're in relationship with, if we can see the divinity in them and understand that our work is how can I bring safety to this situation, especially when there's reactivity. Yep, reactivity. I'm not just going to be nice guy, nice girl here. That's not safety. That's actually
Yeah, you have to
dangerous.
have a boundary.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got to be what I call strong back, soft front. Got to be in our
Mm.
backbone, our spine, but open heart and curious.
Mm.
How can
Mm-hmm.
I respond to this situation in a way where I don't have to be reactive? I respond. Hey, whoa, slow down.
Like you would with a child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. This is what's interesting to me. So many of us healers, facilitators, space holders, teachers of love have had to go through what our dark night of the soul, our challenges, so that we can then bring compassion, empathy, understanding, and the gift. And it comes forward as I have now a passion to give to you what I needed as a child that I didn't get. So, did your soul need to go through everything you went through, Mike? So that you can do what you're doing now? Is that the design of it? And then when does that end generationally?
Totally. And this is what I'd say. And this is something I've learned from Richard Rudd. For anyone listening, if you haven't heard of the Gene Keys, he channeled something called the Gene Keys. It's based off of him contemplating the I Ching, which has been used for thousands of years. It's based off of astrology and when we enter a body. I'm going to synthesize it, my experience of it. There's a lot of people that think astrology and all these things is woo woo. Okay, yeah, maybe. But I think all of us can understand that when we go through a certain experience, something gets imprinted or tattooed with whatever those energies are. Like if we get into a car crash, or I'll use this example, if we get bitten by a snake, that's a real experience. It's energy that happens that creates now, whoa, how I see the world and blah. There's an imprint that happens. Well, if we take the bigger context of life, we're on a planet hurling through frickin' outer space. In infinite space. Let's just break our brains for a moment. Infinite space, and this planet is hurling through it, and we're the only planet that we know of that has life on it. That's insane. I can't even comprehend that. And so, if we now distill that down, how could those forces of where the sun lines up and the moon lines up and all the planets behind it, how could that not imprint us like a snake bite? We know how we feel when the sun's up. We know how we feel when the sun goes down. It's different. We get sleepy, we get tired. Energy's impact.
Yeah. And also, we're 65% water, and we know that the moon controls our water.
Bingo. Bingo.
Yeah.
And so that's just life. So, okay, if we can take that perspective in, well, then we probably want to get curious of what was the constellation that tattooed us with what we're going to be here to learn about in the rest of our lives when we entered a body. Where the sun went, where the moon was, where was mom and dad? All those ingredients imprinted something. And so my belief is that we're here to learn certain experiences based off of that imprint. Now, to go back to your question, there's a part that I heard from Richard Rudd, and he describes one of the human shadows as called psychosis. Psychosis is asking the big question of why. Why are we here? Why is that person doing this? The other version of Simon Sinek of The Power of Why. Yeah, we want to know why we do what we do. Yes. But there's a version that actually makes it crazy making,
like
because
existential angst. Yeah.
it's just like, who freaking knows? Like,
Yeah.
if we focus too much on the why we're here, it's a beautiful place to hang out, but it doesn't fully deal with what is happening right here and right now, what did happen when we were born, what our parents did do to us or not do to us, what happened in the schoolyard when we decided to. That's what's real life. That's the only thing we can actually take responsibility for. So the more important question in my belief is, why am I so afraid to accept my lived experience?
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm.
Why am I searching for an answer I will never find,
Hmm.
when I could be asking the question that goes deeper in my own lived experience of why do I do what I do?
Mm-hmm.
Where is this pattern attached to? Like, where did it start? Well, I got to get to know my parents. I got to get to know what my environment was. I have to now get to know like what was going on in my teacher's head. Now it's bringing the why to real life. Why are we doing what we're doing if it's leading to unsafety? That's where I feel we should throw the why. Why are we not treating each other kindly? We're on a rock hurling through outer space. My definition is family is sharing a home. Our version is a house. But if we break down a definition of a home, we all inhabit the same space. We're all on the same rock hurling through outer space, which makes us all brothers and sisters, whether you like that or not. That's just my bold perspective. So if we're not treating each other with kindness and respect and getting to know, why do I have judgments on that person? Why can't I let in that compliment? When Mike says, and I'm not saying this is true for you, but this has happened with other people. God, your glasses are so beautiful. I love your glasses. I love them. If somebody gets a compliment like that and can't let it in, well, why? Whoa, can I just slow down and breathe? Why is my nervous system blocking love when it's here? That used
Mm-hmm.
to be me so much. People used to give me so much love and celebration, but my trauma would say, bah, I don't belong. Screw you.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I got really curious and, whoa, why do I do that? I actually want that love. Okay, whoa, okay, my body,
Unfamiliar feels like a threat. Yeah.
yeah, my body's freaking out. Okay, okay, I'm gonna focus on breathing. I learned about breath work. I love that you do breath work. I'm gonna learn about breath work so I can down regulate. My body's freaking out. I'm gonna nerd out on attachment theory and all these things so that I can learn how to be in right relationship with my mind, with my heart, my feelings, my environment, with my partner, with my son, with my clients. I want to know them. And if I get to know them really well, my own experience really well, I will now bring in little bits of safety where it didn't used to exist because I couldn't stay in the existence of myself. I was so stuck on why out there. That was the version of me in books and podcasts, mental masturbation to try to create freedom. But I was looking for his connection. Maybe if I learn enough, make enough, I'll be loved in a way I can feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so much of your work is about safety and connection. And that's so much of my values and what I care about and what I want to create for other people too.
Yeah, I feel that.
I just wonder with our phones and social media and the habit forming system that it is, and post COVID, what are three things, Mike, that we can do today in this moment? What can we do to create more of this connection, more of this intimacy, more of this safety to just be our vulnerable, true, authentic selves with each other, whether it's with our partner or our kids or a friend or a stranger? How can we start to do that today?
Yeah, let's do it right now. First one, slow down. It can be so easy to be uncomfortable with silence. So, what I'd say for all of us is practicing what I call and what I got from Richard Rudd the sacred pause,
Mm.
the out breath. So, first one is slow down. This is the one that I like to do, hitting the sovereignty part that I think we all like in autonomy, hand on the heart. Number two,
Yeah.
it has its own intelligence. This has been studied and proven. This isn't woo woo shit. This has been studied. It has its own intelligence. So let's connect in. So slow, hand on the heart, connect in, and just feel. Third one is feel. Can I feel it? Can I feel my breath? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Or I notice this. Oh, it feels relaxing. Oh, my shoulders just softened. And just notice what's there without having to change it, without having to fix it. I don't know about you, but I feel more connected when we do this. I feel your breath more palpably when I slow down. I notice it kind of inspires my breath. When you take that breath in, I kind of want to take a breath in. Oh, and then I just got chills. Oh, this is kind of relieving. I notice different qualities when we're connecting. The softness in your cheeks. Yeah. My imagining of a little bit of tenderness. I feel some tenderness. When we slow down, hand on the heart, and actually start to feel what's happening in this present moment, we've now just got the golden key to being in a body, in a life that is unpredictable. Because if we can stay connected to this in our doing, going at a pace of connection, connection to ourself, connection to our breath, then we can stay connected to each other. Then I can respond and hear if you say, this is going too fast. Oh, I care about that. Okay, let's just slow down for a second. If we can learn as humanity to move at the pace of connection, not at the pace of ambition, I think we'll all experience what we want, deep sense of belonging and freedom.
I remember, and I feel a tinge of it, which is why I'm thinking of it, but I remember times where it felt like if I slow down, I'll die. It's
Yeah,
that primal.
yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll
So,
disappear.
yeah, whew, chills. Yeah. And I get chills there because I'm in the presence of your vulnerability and the truth when you slow down. If we were just relating now and we didn't have time constraints, I would then want to go into, whoa, why is there a part that thinks it will disappear? And or, can we hold that, and can that part notice me here right now? Maybe that part can notice me seeing it. Maybe it's a little, maybe its experience isn't really noticing the part that feels like it disappeared. Maybe it's like, oh, he is seeing that part. Oh, oh, my shoulders just relaxed. Oh, the part of me that's been afraid of disappearing isn't disappearing right now. Whoa, what's that new experience like? Oh, I think I want more of that. Whoa, now I know how to ask for that from the people in my life. Hey, there's a part of me that is afraid of death and wants to run away. It's afraid it'll disappear. Can you slow down with me? Put your hand on my back, look into my eyes, breathe with me while I connect with it. Oh my God, you will. Thank you. And every time we do these little movements together, we help each other heal, not because we're caretaking, we're just in the care of each other. I want to get to know you. I want to be known. But we've got to slow down. Got to make sure our heart's leading our head. And then we got to feel what's in there actually and bring it to the relationship, because when we do, it's liberating. Whatever limited belief or story, for all of you listening, any limited belief or story that's driving the bus of moving faster, not slowing down, it's not real. Something happened, yes, but it's not rooted in reality.
Yeah, and it's so much of our conditioning that when we look around with our eyes and we listen, and what we see, what we experience, what we feel, what we hear, what we know in our conditioning is hurry up.
Ugh,
And I do it with my kids. Speaking of which, I do want to wrap us up, but
it
obviously we
is.
could talk for so much longer. Thank you guys for listening, for dropping in with us. Thank you, Mike, for really your vulnerability, your strength, your courage, overcoming all of those challenges that you've overcome so that you can be of service in the way that you are and walk this path of light and love that you're walking, of consciousness and connection. It's such incredibly important work. And I know that so many people are not only saved, but better for it, evolving because of it. We need more of you. We need more people like you. We need more people coming to men like you. And I hope that you listeners are able to access some inspiration from this conversation so that you can slow down, so that you can connect in, so that you can have maybe a 0.5% less fear of intimacy with yourself and with others, so that you can seek help if you're needing help from the spirit-led path of whatever that is for you when you surrender to what it is that you're needing. And then, Mike, just any last words you want to share as we close?
Just deep thank you. Thank you so much for the reflections, the mirrors, so I can feel where I exist and be seen in the medicine I'm so devoted to bringing, and all my imperfections, where I have moments I don't practice what I preach, but being in the practice of coming back. And thank you for walking your walk, bringing your medicine to the world so we could be having this conversation. And thank you for everyone listening. My invitation, wherever you're at, just take a moment, more of the time, to honor the sacred pause, to get to know yourself intimately. So all the parts that don't feel safe can know what it feels like to notice safety, where it is right here, right now. Let the non-love experience love and live from that place, moving at the pace of connection.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
I love it. I love that this happened. This conversation happened. Embodied men are becoming more and more the norm. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So good.
All right. Well, you guys, if you want to connect in with Mike, if you want to ask him questions, if you want to send your partner to him at mikeelliott.relating, and it's mikeelliott.com.
That's
And
right.
we'll have that in the show notes. Keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time. Loving you. We'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.
Hey, friend, as we wrap up, a few takeaways that are staying with me from this conversation. The first is that so many of the patterns we struggle with as adults are not flaws. They're adaptations. They're ways our nervous system learned to keep us safe. The second is that healing doesn't happen because we become perfect. It happens because we become willing to turn toward the parts of ourselves we've spent years avoiding, judging, or trying to outrun. And maybe most importantly, healing doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in relationship. It happens when we feel safe enough to be seen, heard, understood, and loved exactly as we are, where we are. I also loved Mike's reminder that sensitivity isn't weakness. Sensitivity is information. Sensitivity is connection. Sensitivity is one of the ways we learn to navigate life, love, and relationships with greater awareness and care. And finally, if there's one question I'm leaving this conversation with, it's this. What might become possible if you felt just a little bit safer being fully yourself? Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to do your work of healing, growing, and expanding. Our upcoming first and second degree Reiki certification retreat will be held September 27th through 30th in Depot Bay, Oregon. We will gather in an intimate oceanfront home for Reiki training, attunements, hands-on practice, evening sound baths, incredibly nourishing catered meals, ocean walks, eagle and whale watching, restoration, and meaningful connection. There are only 3 to 6 spaces available. You can find the details on my homepage at sageandblushwellness.com. Email me directly, siri@sageandblushwellness.com, or connect with me on Instagram at Siri Baruch Thornton. And if someone comes to mind while you listened, someone who might need this story, this softness, this remembering, this power, I would love for you to send this to them. And until next time, keep expanding your capacity to feel good, one breath at a time. Loving you. And if today's conversation stirred something in you, here are a few ways we can go deeper together. So the Authentic Creative Podcast, where you are now, make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss more conversations like this. And if you loved this one, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. One-on-one work for private Reiki, breathwork, Akashic sessions where we can go right into your unique medicine. You can connect with me directly. Reach out to me once again. Thank you for being here, for listening, for expanding your capacity to feel good alongside me. I'm sending you love, and I can't wait to connect again soon. Loving you.